In Lesson 8.3, we're going to talk about special pairs of angles. So we got to introduce some new terms. First, we're going to talk about complementary angles. And complementary means the sum of their measures is 90 degrees. And here's a way that we can think of it. Complement has one p, which if you think about it is like a backwards 9, so 90 degrees. So if there's one p in the word, it means 90 degrees. Because the other one is supplementary, which has two p's. So p and p is like 90 and 90, which makes 180, which is what supplementary angles add up to. So if you're given two angles and you know they're complementary, to find the missing one, you would just do 90 minus 58. So the other angle would be 32 degrees. If you know that angles are supplementary, you're given one. To find the other one, you would subtract from 180. So the other angle would be 135 degrees. So the word tells you whether you subtract from 90 or subtract from 180. Vertical angles are equal size, which means that they're congruent, which we use an equal sign with a squiggle over. And they are across an x from each other. And congruent angles have the same measurement. Okay, so they're the same size. Okay, so if I have an x here, 1, 2, 3, 4, angle 1 and angle 3 will be the same because they're across the x from each other. And angle 2 and angle 4 will be the same because they're also across the x from each other. That's vertical. They're across the x. Okay, so pause the video before we try some examples. Okay, so in the first example, they're going to ask you to find the complement of an angle. Well, remember that complement means 90. So if one of the angles is 66, the other one I don't know is x, I know that they're going to add up to 90 degrees. So I'm going to subtract 66 from both sides. And 90 minus 66, borrow, is 24. So the complement would be 24 degrees. Okay, so now you're going to try the first quick check, find the value of x, and then when you're ready, move on to the next part. Okay, so now, using supplementary angles, find the value of x. Well, I know that they're supplementary because these two angles make a straight line, and a straight line is 180 degrees. So I know that they add up to 180 because they're supplementary. So x plus 125 should equal 180. So I'll subtract 125 from each side. And 180 minus 125 is 55 degrees. Okay, now we're going to name some vertical angles. So we're just going to use the diagram to identify each pair. So a pair of obtuse vertical angles. Remember, obtuse means more than 90. So where are the big angles? Here's a big angle, and across the x from him is angle 5. 4 is a big angle, and across from 4 is angle 7. What about acute vertical angles? Well, angle 1 is a small angle, and across from him is angle 6. 3 is a small angle, and across from 3 is angle 8. Okay, so now you're going to try the next two quick checks, and then we'll check your work in class.